trying to make me cry in front of everybody, man?
Yeah, that's the point.
One word of advice. Buy TV, don't spend it on Hooker.
Super Russ. I'm the last character on my Justice League team with these four babes. Yo, what's up? Welcome to episode 43 of It's Simply Super. As the title says, this episode will be mind-blowing.
Yeah, so not only are we running out of ideas and running out of things to talk about, but Russ is also running out of ideas for clever names for the show. What was the thought process, mate, when you made that one?
There was no thought process involved.
Yeah, so normally how this works is I message Russ before I go to bed, which is what, like normally 8 hours before we start the show or even less.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, let's do it at this time. And then I used to be like, let's do this week. Let's do that this week. And then it got to the point where like, I got no ideas. Let's just talk. And then Russ would come up with weird titles like the episode you cannot miss and things. But
Clickbait the deluxe edition.
That's a new one. Maybe we both need more clickbait thumbnails because I've always done thumbnails very similar. I've always screen grabbed something from the video and then just added text. Every now and then I'll put a little bit more thought into it and maybe pose for it or something like that. But it makes a big difference, man, thumbnails.
Yeah, it really does.
And I think I like to keep my page looking similar. So obviously I still keep doing it the same, mostly taking a screenshot, adding the text. But maybe it's better if I don't use my face. Maybe maybe this is not what you want to click on and you just want to be tricked by some image, right?
You never know, man.
My Star Wars statue unboxing, that surprisingly, because so a lot of the times when I do like toy videos or move away from the comics, I notice it doesn't normally get like many views compared to just my regular this week's comic haul or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I did that Star Wars one, it hit really badly in the first. So most people watch your videos in the first 2 days, right? Yeah. So it hit the standard. It was like 50, 60 views maybe, and then randomly, like after a week, it started just getting. So now it's consistently my first or second most viewed video in the last 48 hours. Oh, and nice. I think it's all got to do with thumbnail because I was like, I made this thumbnail. I was like, holy crap, that looks like it's a pretty sweet thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Like get rid of that. Like I did the photo like with the blurry background, and I was like, that looks like a really professional thumbnail. And yeah, it's getting close to 1,000 views now.
Nice.
But it's getting like regularly like 20 to 30 views a day, it seems.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, how in analytics you can see where with the average view time. So it's a short video. It's like a 5-minute video maybe, and its average view time is about 2 minutes. But you can also see where in the analytics it shows you where people are watching it the most, like where it peaks and stuff. So obviously people skip forward in your videos, right? So the 2 minutes watch is normally just as I start unboxing it. So as soon as the video starts, I'll be like, hey guys, I'm SimpleSimon. People are like, I don't care who you are. Show me the statue. So and then I did the little Star Wars mystery box videos, and I tried to make the thumbnail look exactly the same, but with this there instead, and it didn't quite take off as well. So can't win them all.
Yeah, I just started like sometimes I'll put myself in the thumbnail, but lately I've just been putting like whatever, like if it's a comic, I'll put the characters from that comic on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Yeah, for my giveaway, it's a Wonder Woman slab, so I just put the cover of that book on the thumbnail.
Yeah, actually, do you want to explain your giveaway? Because I did watch the video, but I watched on my lunch break, and when I watch videos on my lunch break, I can never hear the audio, so I haven't actually figured out what I have to do for it.
Well, it's a simple comment entry. Just I got it to set up to where you to enter, you sub up its Natrix and leave a comment saying that you did that. And for a second entry, I took a page out of your book and I asked somebody a trivia question for one of my videos, and they have to send me the answer on Instagram or email for a second entry.
That's good. You're gonna make them work. You should give them 2 entries for that. You're gonna make them work. You know,
Yeah.
you give them 2 entries, people are like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll do that extra work.
So far, I've gotten 27 or 28 entries, which
That's
is
awesome.
good
Well,
because it's only been like 2 days.
it's a pretty banging prize. Like I was like, ooh, Russ,
Yeah, I was
worldwide.
hoping because I was shooting for 2K, so I want it to be a prize like good enough to actually get me there
Yeah,
because I'm doing this one worldwide.
yeah.
For a 2K giveaway, I want it to be, available to everybody.
Yeah, I should probably shout that out next week on this week's comic call, so people. You're in for a shock, mate. If someone overseas wins.
Yeah, I know, but it's going to take me a while to get there, so I figure I can save a
Yeah.
little here and there to get enough together for the shipping. Because
Yeah.
I've only gained a total of 5 new subs from it, and I've already
Yeah.
lost 3 of those. So I'm only sitting on 2 new subs.
So what's the losing thing? Actually, do you want to just quickly shout out to the 2 fellas that have jumped in? Sorry, I didn't realize.
Yeah, Gray Man was in here first. What's up, Gray Man? And Tony Fett jumped in. What's going on, Tony? Ready for the Black Adam movie?
I've heard good things. Well, actually, mixed reviews, really.
When is it opening? Is it opening this week?
Well, some people have already seen it somehow. Some people must have had advanced screenings or something.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember when Bearded released his exclusive cover, I was like, I want to get that, right? So I hit him up, and I don't know if he's ever shipped anything to Australia, but he was just like, yeah, this much for the book, and he's like, just send me $5 for postage. And I was like, dude, I don't think you're aware of how expensive sending to Australia is. And then he was like, oh, okay, just send me $10 in. I was like, are you sure, dude? $10. So look, normally I think to send from the US, it's probably going to be more like 25 to 30 if I had to guess, US. Just for one book, even sometimes more. So he had delay. I think it was during like lockdowns and stuff here, so it was really hard. I think he couldn't actually send it to you for some. Oh no, I think the price was so ridiculous. He was just like, man, I can't right now. I have to wait till the price to come down. I was like, that's cool. And then eventually, when I started getting books shipped to Bubs, I was like, hey man, why don't you just send it to Bubs? So yes, I got the book eventually.
I meant to order one of those, but I didn't get around to it. I don't know if he still has any now or not.
It is like, as far as like having an exclusive cover, that's got to be one of the best.
Yeah,
like,
that's an awesome cover.
Like I've seen, some other channels get exclusives and they're okay, but that is a killer cover. I'd be very happy to if I had something like that. That's the dream, right?
Oh,
if you're a comic book nerd, have your own exclusive. Oh, dude, the Super Rust 9000 exclusive. What would it be,
That would be incredible to have, man.
What would it be? Okay, that's a good one. If you had your own exclusive, what book would it be, and what artist would you have?
Oh man, I mean, I want to say it would have to be a Superman book of some kind, but I would probably have to like come up with like an original costume design because I don't think I could like copyright reasons. I don't know if I could just like use the classic costume with just the R on it instead of the
like
S.
if it was a approved licensed cover, of course you could.
Yeah. I guess I could if it was like an officially licensed thing. Just replace the S with the R and put my head on it, and there you go.
And you could maybe have like just a little Super Rust Easter egg, like you in the background somewhere, just being you.
Yeah,
Uh,
that would be awesome.
I don't know what I'd do. I guess I would have to do. There's not even a Red Hood book out at the moment.
Well, I mean, they could do like a one-shot issue.
That's true. Or maybe I'd get like a Something's Killing the Children exclusive. I mean, there's a lot of those going around.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'd get to do the art though. Like, just because so many artists have already worked on that. But you'd want it to be an artist that maybe you don't see do that book or that title very often.
Yeah. Man, I might have to go with Carla Cohen if I could get her to do the art.
I mean, if you're getting Carla Cohen, you may as well get a Supergirl exclusive.
Yeah. Put my Supergirl's body. Have her do one of those Instagram posts where she's varnishing the painting.
Do you follow Perillo as well?
No, I probably should though.
You should. So he does a similar thing where he does drops the oil, what is it?
Yeah.
Varnish, yeah, and starts covering over. But man, he was doing like a commission piece for someone on like this thing. It was like, it's bigger than like movie posters. So it was huge. This giant, it's like this, it's almost as big as my shelf back there. It was massive.
I bet that's some serious cash, man.
Yeah, I can't imagine. One day, mate. One day when I sell my first book for me, when I trick someone into buying my ASM one.
Yeah.
Gray
you
man.
Never know, man. Send it to CGC on the right day, and they might put the real label on it instead of a facsimile.
Yeah, that is such. I cannot believe that happens. Like, it's like the fact that people still care so much about grading. Like, to me, like, I understand obviously the 9.8s are going to give you more like value and things like that. But the more and more I watched like slab related videos, CGC unboxings, it's just made me literally be like, a grade doesn't mean jack. Like,
no, it's not to me,
you
not anymore.
For
a while, I got caught up in wanting slabs, but then it's just like, I don't really need them.
I still want a slab. I think they look cool in a slab. Like, if you're not,
well, I mean, there's certain covers that I would like to have, but like, I don't understand the thought process behind grading a facsimile book.
Yeah. Again, well, look, for presentation's sake, like, I guess it can still look good on a shelf.
Yeah.
But like the fact that just people care so much about the 9.8s and stuff, like, you have videos where the people are like, when they do the grade reveal and they're like, I know this book is not a 9.8 because I know it's got this problem. I know it's got that problem. Boom. 9.8. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like if I can get a book $200 or $300 cheaper, if it's a 9.6 or a 9.4 or even like a 9.0, I'm gonna get because it's a book that's going into the PC. It's not one I'm getting to resell later. So lower grade.
I mean, can you really tell the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8 a lot of the times? Especially if there's 9.8s out there that people know aren't 9.8s. Like, how would that make you feel? Would you be happy having something that wasn't like a 9.8 that wasn't really, like?
No. With all the mistakes and stuff that happened with CGC over the past year and a half, I don't really trust their grading system anymore anyways.
Oh, it's clear. It's clear as day that they're just full of shit, really.
Yeah.
I think I saw Comic Man Andy. I think it was, he sent off a bunch of, I think he got all his like saga books graded, like all 75 of them. And I think one of them, he was like, I'm certain this is not a 9.8, and he got 9.8. Tyler from Whack Comics did the same thing. He had Something's Killing the Children, and he goes, I remember picking this up off the shelf, and it had like literally a color breaking bit, like there was the last copy on the shelf and the corner was bent, and he goes, and it was color breaking, so this can't be a 9.8. And then boom, 9.8. I'm like, that's just rubbish.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was now, but I remember somebody sent one in to get graded, and there was like a hole that was going like all the way through the book, but it was like flattened out so you couldn't see it. And CGC gave it a 9.8. It's like, are they even looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, look, and obviously with so many books that they've got there, like you've heard stories of like apparently it's just like piles and piles of books waiting to get graded. That little
Yeah.
bit of hair is annoying me. um, but yeah, I don't know. I still think books look cool in a slab.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like as far as the grade means nothing anymore. Like I get it
No.
if you're going to resell your stuff, you want it to be a higher grade, but mate, I'll buy 9.6 all day over a 9.8.
Most of the time now, when I'm looking for books, like books that I would want graded, I'll look for mid to low grade, and I'll even look for like the ones that have the purple label where something's been restored, because those are even cheaper, man. Like I was looking at a Fantastic Four 45, the first appearance of the Inhumans, with that awesome Jack Kirby cover,
Yeah.
and I found one in a 5.0 with a restored where it was only a slight bit of color restoration on the cover, but it gave it the purple label, and it was I think $104 instead of like the 200 or 300 it normally is in that grade. So that's one I've had my eye on. I'm thinking I might pull the trigger on it soon.
Yeah, it's weird how those labels can put people off.
Yeah, like I don't care what color the label is. I don't care if the book is a 1 or a 2. If the cover is complete and looks good, and the book is like not missing a page that affects the story, it's good enough for
But
my collection.
yeah, but even if the book is missing a page that affects the story, as long as the cover's good, man, it's a slab.
Well, I mean, if it's a first appearance and the page that's missing is that that character's first appearance
Okay, fair enough.
page, yeah. But like if it's missing the pages, like books that a lot of the older books, people cut the ads out of them. I don't care
Yeah.
about that.
Or the poster's missing and things like that.
Yeah.
There is, remember, so there was that Batman issue 89 where it was the first appearance of Punchline, and it was also the first appearance of the designer. So you wouldn't have been reading this, but so I don't know if it was just Australia or what, but in that book, majority of them down here, not all of them, but a big chunk of them down here, the first page reveal of the designer, like let's say the page is like this,
Yeah,
this much of it was all blacked out, like something went wrong in the printer.
oh man,
So that whole thing was just like almost a black page, except for maybe like that much from close to the spine. So yeah, and that was the page reveal of the designer, which is pretty funny. So it's kind of like an error, but no one talks about it. Like I've never heard,
yeah,
back
I've
in the day,
never heard it
a lot of
mentioned
people,
before. Now,
a lot of people talk about error prints and things like that, but no one's ever mentioned it. But there was quite a few. So I know all the ones that Mark got had that because one of his customers, Snyder Cut guy, who's been in a few of my videos, he picked up a copy and he was so like, I want to read that page. Like he's just like, all he cared about was reading that page. He's like, I don't know what's happening on that page. I need it. So he hit up Alternate Worlds, which is the store that I hate. I was like, hey, do you have a copy of Batman 89 without the error print thing? And they at first told him, nah, get stuffed. We're not doing an exchange. Oh, no. They said, yes, no, we don't have it because they're that store that would basically hide a few copies, right?
yeah,
And then sell it a week later for money. So anyway, so they said no. And then, because, yeah, he bought it from Big City. And then they called him apparently the next day and said, hey, yeah, so we do have a copy of the non-okay. Do you want to bring that one in and swap it over? Because they would sell it as an error print and mark up the price.
yeah.
I can't remember if he did or not, but that was a weird thing because I was like, man, I didn't even buy the book from you. Why am I exchanging it?
Shops, man, shops like that are a trip.
It's weird because they have a really good catalog of books, but they hire people who don't give a shit and they're just lazy. Like, yeah, if you actually go to their website and look at their back catalog, it's amazing. It's probably the best back catalog you can go online and order from where I am. But if you go into the shop and say, hey, because if you order them online, they have to go pick the things, right? So I think the quickest back when I used to order from them sometimes, the quickest I ever got a reply back was like probably four days, maybe 4 days, and they'd pick the books. Some people like have waited 2 weeks before they send you the email saying, "Hey, your order's ready to be picked up." It's like, what? Wouldn't you just go through that daily and pick your stuff? Like, it doesn't make sense. And if you go into the shop and say, "Hey, you've got this on your website, can I get that?" They will like be like, "Oh, you're making me do that now. Really? Why can't I just buy it online and then pick it up fucking in 5 weeks?" So it's just like the service is pathetic. And I have a video that I need to film that's just gonna. I'm not making like so what they've done is. I guess I can say it because it's on your channel. They've been making their own boxes, like comic boxes.
Oh yeah.
And what they did was they sent one to every shop in Melbourne saying, "Hey, here's a sample of our boxes. If you want to start buying them from us, da da da." So they gave everyone. So Mark had one, and Mark's boxes are the best, right? Like Mark started getting new boxes. I don't know, probably over a year ago now. But the thing I like about them is the handle parts. It's 3 layers of box, and when you build it, you only pop out the first 2, so you can put your hands in there, but the last handle cutout thing you don't pop, so it keeps no light from going in there, right? And that's what apparently some people like, no light. So this place, they've got their boxes, and Mark was like, "Hey, do you want to take this box? Because I'm not going to use it. Do you want to take it and make a video about it, and you can trash it?" Okay, I guess I shouldn't say that, but he's like, do you want to make a video about their box? And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll make a video about their box and just trash their boxes and tell them like crap they are, and I'll like destroy the crap out of it."
Send one to Whack Comics, man.
No, I'm gonna whack the crap out of it. I'm gonna hit it with lightsabers and everything.
What's up, Chop? What's going on, Neil?
What's going on, mate? Okay, anyway, slabs really need to be on show, and yeah, that's true. A lot of people, it is funny. Like, obviously, slabs should be on show. I know a lot of people who will buy slabs and then keep them in the dark because they don't want that light on them. But yeah, they definitely should be. I mean, if you're planning on reselling, I guess I get it. But the coolest thing is this slab here, the Halo slab. This is another dream, right? So this is that book. I sent you one of these signed by Tom Taylor, but I sent you the variant.
Yeah.
So this is also signed by Tom Taylor. So there's this guy here called Neville, and he runs this comic group called Grail Hunters. So I'm not part of he has a podcast and he's on YouTube and stuff. I'm not sure, but I think his comic group, I think if you're a member of Grail Hunters, he'll you can send him books and he'll send them off to CGC and get them graded and all that sort of stuff. So I guess it's a service and things like that. I think that's what happens. But anyway, he's like super good friends with the guy who runs Halo. So I don't know the full story, but I think the guy who runs Halo apparently used to work for CGC, and now he lives in Australia. So he started this grading company, but apparently he's just a one-man show. Oh, he's just like does everything himself, which is why I waited over a year for this to come back. So you think CGC is bad? Well, I waited over a year for this, but I think it's also because this Neville guy, who I see at comic fairs and I chat to him and stuff like that, he's a cool dude. I think he's just got like 500 books there all the time. He's got big. He's got, I think, 7 copies of Ultimate Fallout 4.
Oh man!
And he'll have he's got multiple copies of all these big boy books. So anyway, so one thing that Halo seems to do that's cool. Now their website is terrible. Last time I went to the website, I was like, I can't do this. This website looks like it was made in 1997. But I've noticed them do these really cool custom labels, right? So this is it says Grail Hunters Certified Autograph Series. So they've actually done like a custom label on it.
That's cool.
And because Neville ordered, I think 20 or 25 copies of this book from Mark, specifically to get this done for his Grail Hunter members. He said to Mark, if you get me the books, I'll put your logo on the slab. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Big City Comics.
Yeah, so that's super cool. So that's the Grail Hunters logo there, and then Big City Comics. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I had to get it because when Mark told me, mate, he's going to put my logo on it, I was like, dude, I need one of those. Next, I need the SimpleSimon logo on a Halo slab. So maybe I can get I'll get a sketch cover or something. Slab.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Do something like that next time you see him at a con or a convention or something.
The best was he's got a custom label for his Crow issue 1, like the original Crow book.
Oh, I bet that looks awesome.
It's just a plain black label, but it looks so good because the book is mostly all black too. It looks awesome. Depending on how good they are at the job, Neil. Yeah, it's also how they feel on the day, I think. You know, if they're in a bad mood, had a fight with the missus, you know, you could be in trouble. But I always wanted to do a video and send books to CGC to, I guess, make a video about the process of getting books graded from Australia, because everyone always says, or everyone here anyway says, it's cheaper to just buy the book slabbed off eBay or something than to go through the process of sending the book, getting it sent back, and paying for this, paying for that. And they say it's just not worth. But in my head, it's just like, well, how much could it possibly cost? Because if you already own the book and you paid $10 for it, how much would it possibly cost to get a book graded? Anyone in the chat done that before? Sent a book? Oh, God Tank.
I've heard that they have different prices for different eras of books. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've got like a big boy book that has a bigger value, then I think they charge you more to get that book graded, which again is just like, what? Why? Like, who are you to say that book is worth, you know, that book is worth as much as basically someone wants to pay for it, really. The beard game is strong with Russ. Yeah, everyone's talking about
the beard. What's up, guy? I'm maybe another year and a half, I might be competing with Gray Man.
Yeah, and God Tank, maybe another decade, I might start growing a beard. I can grow. So we have Movember here. All right.
Yeah.
Do you guys have Movember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So people keep saying, I mean, I just don't want to look like that guy from it's because I grow really, like, the fastest bits that grow are just here. I don't grow in the middle very quickly. So I literally would just have the side bits. I get that Fu Manchu look going. I don't want to, can't handle it. The beard is what that wouldn't happen. I grow about, sorry?
Try it out, man. It might take a year or two, but.
No way, dude. Like, you can count the amount of hairs that are on my chin. They're getting more. I might be getting close to 20 now even. But I have 2 random hairs that grow on my cheek here. I think I have 1 random hair on this side that grows, like a proper hair. And then everything else just doesn't really, I don't know.
It's funny, man. My beard would grow in my early 20s, but I couldn't, for some reason, my mustache wouldn't grow until I was like 27, 28 before the mustache started coming in normal.
Yeah, I didn't start growing stuff until I was like in my... Oh, actually, you know what's funny? So I think this slowly started to grow in my sort of like early to mid 30s. I started to have to shave because there'd just be random hairs around my face, like 1 here, 1 there, you know, a couple of, like maybe a couple in my chin, and then just here on each side would grow quick. But man, my birthmark, I've been growing hair on that thing since I was 13.
Really?
Yeah. So I used to shave with like an electric shaver and just buzz the old birthmark, because people used to make fun of me of my birthmark. So I hated having hair. People would be like, do you know you've got hair on your mole? It's like, no shit. Like, I look in a mirror, you idiot. Big Trouble in Little China. What a film.
Gray Man's calling me out on the gray in my beard.
Apparently, I've got a couple of gray hairs on the back of my head. I can't see them, but Sarah pointed them out. I was like, no, it's not good. And the worst thing is, like, they always say, I think my hairdresser once said, do you want me to pluck them? And I'm like, I'm scared that if you pluck them, my whole head will turn gray. Because that's happened before, I've heard to people.
I mean, I've heard if you do that, more grow back, but I don't know. It could just be one of those rumors or like a...
I know a guy that definitely happened. What's up, Mad Spidey?
What's up, Mad Spidey?
I know. I think I talked about it on here once, where this dude I used to work with, everyone called him Redbeard, because he was a redhead, so he had a red beard, but he had this white streak that went down. And someone asked him about it once, and he said he one time noticed one white hair on his chin, so he plucked it, and then all of a sudden that whole section turned white. But it kind of looks cool now, because literally, if he grows a long beard, it's literally a white stripe that runs down.
We kind of like Rogue.
Yeah, very much like that.
They say gray is a sign of wisdom, but they're obviously wrong about that, man, because I don't have any wisdom.
Yeah, that's why I haven't been going it properly either. The more gray, the wiser. Hair is like a hydra. What?
Cut off one head and 10 grow back.
Have you ever color? Oh yeah, you bleach your hair. Do you bleach your hair yourself when you do that?
No, I had it done. It's a local shop. They only charge like $30, so I let them do it.
Gray man, one of his white beard patches appeared overnight. Yeah, Matt Spidey has been going great. You never see because that hat is glued to his head. That hat has been glued to his head since I knew him in high school. Why don't you go for some color, Russ, mate? What color would you go?
I don't know.
Go green.
No. I thought about going blonde again, but I don't know, man. I'm growing my hair out right now. I'm letting it get long. I had it pretty long when I was in my early 20s, and a couple months ago, I was strolling through like some old photos, and I saw one. I just had like this lion's mane haircut, so I started growing it out again after I saw that. Try to recapture some of the youthfulness.
Yeah, one of my mates from work who always had short hair. He's like a metalhead dude, so he used to have long hair when he's young, but he's always had short hair, like really short hair from as long as I've known him. And now he's just grown it like down here. You should grow it long, Russ.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing, man. Just growing it out.
90s Superman.
Yeah.
He's been camping.
Yeah, I haven't really trimmed it or anything. It's just letting it grow wild. What's up, Perfector?
Russ is going for a mullet for next year's season.
Definitely not the mullet, man. Just long hair. I'm not going to shave the sides down.
Mullets are the rage down here. Are they not the rage over there?
No, man. When we see people with mullets, we make fun of them.
Really? It's like it's all cool now amongst the young people. They all want mullets.
Like, that junk went out with Billy Ray Cyrus in the 90s. Don't try to bring that back.
The mullets
if you roll up like Joe Dirt, you're going to get laughed at.
I think it started because one of the football players down here, who's pretty well known, he started rocking a full mullet. And all of a sudden, I think it just took off, and like all the kids now, literally, like the kids here, they love mullets. That's crazy. Yeah, I just don't understand because they're not even cool mullets. Like I like an '80s mullet. I think an '80s mullet rocks.
Really,
like the buffiness at the front, and the buffiness. But now it's just like so flat and straight. It's like, oh, what is that? What is that?
I've never been down with the mullet, man. Like if I'm gonna let it grow, I'm gonna let it grow out all over.
I like all the 80s metal and rock bands, so I've always dug the mullets. I've never had one, of course. My brothers, though, on the other hand, I used to think they were the coolest in the 80s. They all had the big buffy mullets.
Glitter and duct tape, what's going on?
Hey, Glitter. So, so are you going to do no shave in November? Because
I might as well. I might as well, man. I'm not planning on shaving anytime soon, so. I tell you, one haircut I did always want, like growing up when I was a kid, I always wanted to get a mohawk, but I never did.
I used to have a mohawk.
So I might, after I grow it out, and see how it looks long again, I might just get that mohawk finally. We'll see.
Oh, we need to see that. Let me see if I
What's
can
up,
find
Tim?
a old photo. What's going on, Tim? A Mazda Miata is what God Tank. I think that's like one of Sarah's dream cars. Has that got the flip up lights, God Tank? The Miata?
Listening to Achy
sure,
Breaky Art.
I'm pretty sure that's one of Sarah's dream cars. All right, let me have a look through my Facebook to see if I can find an old mohawk photo. It's been a long time because I've had this hair for bloody like wait, yeah, it's getting next year. So I'm pretty sure I haven't changed it since I was 21. So I've always
Wow, man.
kept redoing it since I was 21, and
I'm surprised like all the dye hasn't just made it all fall out, man.
Well, yeah, the bleach. Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Yeah.
But I, because a lot of people like will say you need to get a haircut every 5 weeks. I'm like, that's excessive, especially how expensive my haircut costs.
Yeah.
I sometimes would go like 3 months, even sometimes without a haircut, and just let it go gross. So,
Used to, I would just buzz my head and get it cut every like 6 months. So twice a year, I would get a haircut.
oh, here's one of my mohawks. This has got I did it. This is an old picture. I think I was 18 maybe in this picture. This is like I did not the fan mohawk, but the spikes mohawk.
Oh yeah.
But I got two rows of spikes.
Oh man, that was before it was red too.
Yeah, that was a 18-year-old me. See, there's another mohawk in the background there. That's
Oh yeah. Is that
James.
green?
Yeah, and I think the guy next to me also has a mohawk, but he's not. This guy here is actually Martin Abel. He's like a pretty good artist.
Oh.
He's done some comic book work before, but he's a very good artist. So I've known him since back in the day. Wait, there's
were you in your band then yet, or was that before that?
Yeah, that was like early days of the band. I've got another one. I'm pretty sure where I've actually got it colored red. Because I didn't put it up very often because it was such a pain in the ass. Like it used to take me like 45 minutes to do my hair if I wanted to put my mohawk up. So that was one of the reasons. So no, I can't show that photo. That's a bad photo. Oh, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
It's funny. Like I wanted a mohawk as a kid because I loved Mr. T from the A-Team.
So you get like a short one.
Yeah.
A frohawk, as I like to call it. Oh, here we go. So this is the sides are really long in this, but this is when it was red. So I got like it's kind of grown out a bit, but you can see the red tips on it there. Oh, that's a terrible photo. Oh my god, look how long the sides are. That's my mate. So this is my mate from my band. The one in the middle is who was the guitarist from my band. There's a couple of mohawks there for you.
It's pretty sweet, man.
City streets. This is a nice little. Wait, I was. Okay, this is the word. This is the last one. This is so bad. This was my year 12 high school ID card. Check out this terrible hair. Oh, dude.
Is that blonde?
Yeah, man.
going all might on that one.
It's spiked on one side and then like not spiked on the other side. It was bad. That was pre this.
So
all those photos are like over 20 years ago. Yeah. So I think you had a 2-foot mohawk, God Tank. I need to see that.
Dang, man.
I need to see that. So yeah, I guess today's the day we're gonna start petitioning for Russ's mohawk. Would you dye it?
I don't know.
K-pop stuff. Yeah, bad. That last photo, K-pop stuff for sure.
I want to let it get real long and have it styled like Vegeta's hair from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, like that spikes that I did.
Yeah.
So what I used to do back then was, so that one where I had the red and the sides were really long. I used to get the mohawk and color the mohawk red, and then once the sides started getting long, I would then cut the mohawk off and then go to this half.
Yeah.
And then once that started getting long, I'd shave the sides off again and go back to mohawk. So I did that a couple of times. I switched, kept going back and forth. And then I was just like, man, I can't be bothered doing I rarely put my mohawk up. Normally my hair was just like mohawk, but like long and just to the side. And then people started thinking that was emo. So I was like, yeah, I better get rid of that. But yeah, it's fun to look back on those old photos, as embarrassing as they are.
I wish I had some photos when I went through my goth phase, man, but I didn't take any.
You didn't? What? You surely there's going to be some in existence. I got to see Goth Rus. That is awesome. You should go back to that. Have that midlife crisis. Super Goth 9000.
I think my midlife crisis is when I dyed my hair blonde, man.
Start with painting your nails again.
times.
Paint your nails black. That's a good start. And we'll slowly get the trench coat.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already pale enough.
Just trying to find one with my mohawk down.
Yeah, I have to dye all this gray hair out.
Just color it black.
I'd be the gray goth.
Gray goth. Just trying to no. There's too many photos on Facebook. Yeah. What music were you listening to when you were Goth Rus?
I'm sure like the same music everybody was like back then, like Green Day, Nirvana.
Okay, so you're more like the alternative kid, but you dress gothy. That's more like I definitely went through a goth phase, but I wouldn't say that I listened to goth music. I got
into metal fairly early in my late teens.
Yes, we all want to petition for Goth Rus photos, Glitter.
I might have to Photoshop some for you.
So back when I was wearing nail polish and trench coats and things, I was like, started to get more into alternative stuff. So like Marilyn Manson was a big thing. I remember when Antichrist Superstar came out. I was pretty into that.
It's funny, man. I didn't even know who Marilyn Manson was until he did that theme song for SmackDown.
Oh,
that
really?
was like the first time I ever heard Marilyn Manson. I think it was the Beautiful People.
Yeah, so that was like that was kind of like his song that put him into the mainstream. I'm pretty sure. Like
the first time I heard it was the theme songs for SmackDown for a while, and that's like how I discovered who he was.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I remember he was like big time back then. Who else did I like back in the day? But yeah, I started listening to. I was never huge on Green Day for some reason. I like some of their songs, but I never loved them. I really like Basket Case, for example, but I never really loved Green Day the band. Well, I know a lot of people did back then.
I don't think I listened to them for very long. Because shortly after I discovered them is when I started discovering like Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, people like that. And I started getting into metal and stuff.
I used to be really into this band called Stabbing Westwood, and I'm pretty sure they're very goth. I think a lot of goths like them. I didn't realize that until all these years later. Man, I
can't remember when the song came out, but it's Down with the Sickness by Disturbed.
Oh yeah.
And that was like the first song I heard from them that but then like it's like all their songs sounded the same kinda.
Yeah, I
don't think I listened to them very long.
I never got into those bands, but I did enjoy the WWE promos that would use those songs.
Yeah.
They were always cool. The only band I liked was out of all those kind of bands was I did like Korn when they first came out. I liked that's embarrassing, but I liked Limp Bizkit for about 10 minutes when they first came out in the first couple of songs.
Yeah.
And then just Fred Durst is just a douchebag.
Yeah. I know Undertaker used Rollin' as his theme song for a little
that's
while
right.
when
When
he
he
was doing
stopped
the
being
biker
the
gimmick.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
We started being
And that
biking.
it's crazy because they even put Fred Durst was an unlockable character in one of the old SmackDown games where Undertaker had that theme song.
What was his finishing move?
God, I can't even remember now. It's been so long.
That's cool, the special characters.
Yeah.
Did they have...
God, Rollin' is probably the only Limp Bizkit song that I know. I can't even think of another one, man.
What was that? Nookie? I think that was one of their first big singles that they released. I used to like their cover. They used to do a cover of Faith by George Michaels. And I used to think that was kind of cool because I hadn't heard that. That was like one of the first times I heard the band do the whole. They sang the song normally, and then they do it like a massive heavy metal breakdown sort of bit to it. Oh no!
What's
Hey,
up,
wrong channel, Cole. Not today. Mate, I got a bunch of them on the stream me and Sarah did the other night. It was terrible. Sarah's a shit stirrer.
I need to watch that. I need to watch that replay, man. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We opened up a bunch of stuff, and then there's a whole section about feet, and just the feet photos started just spamming through. But yeah, man, sure, man. I was big on photos, like when I was younger. I used to always I used to have a camera, and I used to always get the film developed. I always get doubles, so I was big on photo. I was always big on, knowing that these will be just memories one day. So yeah, I've always been a fan of photos.
You can send those pictures to the New 50 Noob on Instagram.
I'm telling you, everyone who's sending me, I'm in the process of making a video of putting a compilation together of all the feet that have been sent to me. So if you don't want your feet to be shown, don't send me feet pictures.
I think I sent
Russ. Yeah, you sent
I sent a pic to the group chat you made with
Russ's feet look like hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
His toe
I can pick stuff up with them. I think it's because I used to I would never wear shoes or socks when I was a kid, all the way up to when I was an early teen. I hated shoes and socks. I would go barefooted everywhere.
So are the bottom of your feet really tough? Like the skin's really sort of tough?
Yeah, it is now. Yeah.
Yeah, I never.
I step on a nail and the nail bends instead of it puncturing my foot.
I was going to say, one of my friends back in the day, I remember he would always walk around barefoot, and then one day he stepped on glass, and the glass just broke, and it was already broken glass, it was already broken, and he stepped on it, and it just shattered into bits, and his foot was fine. I was like, what the hell? Ballet feet. You do ballet, Glitter. Russ's
Beast from X-Men.
Yeah,
I just need to go all blue, I guess. That could be Beast for Halloween.
Yeah, I hated walking bare feet when I was younger, and still to this day, I very rarely will be outside barefoot. So the bottom of my feet are soft as.
Yeah.
But that sucks because sometimes I'll walk on gravel on the road, and I ever have to, and I'll be, why is my feet so sore? This hurts. Can you hang from a branch? I'd like to see that.
Read a comic book upside down.
I still think surely you don't have any photos of when you were younger, Russ?
I've got some from when I was a little kid, and baby pictures and stuff, but I don't have a lot from when I was a teenager.
Those are the years, mate. Those are the years that you want to have.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I spent my teenage years just kind of depressed and alone, so I didn't really take a lot of photos.
I used to have a photo album that I used to, it was like I had a binder and stuff, so it was like a really full on, like nice looking one. And I used to, get all my photos developed that I used to take, and I would like sometimes cut out the photo, like cut out the bits of the photo so I could fit more on like on the page. Because back then it was just like it was like a layer of film that you peel off, and then you put the photos to the sticky stuff, and then you cover it back up. So like I remember I had two of them. I had like 2 volumes. I called them. That picture I had before with the spiky hair. That was actually from that photo, like the front page of that photo album, and it was called The Hardcore Years. So lame. And I remember you opening the next page and had all my friends. Like I cut out like a little photo of them, and I made it look like almost like a school yearbook. I'd be like name, date of birth, and what they do and things like that. It was I was really into photos always, even as a teenager. But yeah. Good times. Embarrassing times when you look back on them. But
Yeah.
What's going on, Jackson? You missed out on all the feet talk and all the goth Rust talk.
What's up, Jackson?
We're gonna have to wrap it up soon because I've got to get out pretty on time today because I've got a doctor's appointment, and I've also got something to pick up from the post office. I won I didn't win them. I had to pay for them, but I don't know if you know much about shoe collecting, Russ, but apparently shoes are a hot item. And if you want to get them, sometimes you can't just walk into a shop and buy certain ones because they're just on so high demand. So you have to enter a raffle. And if you win the raffle, then you get the shoes. And I think they started doing that to stop flippers. Because back in the day, I think what would happen is when on the day of release, people would line up at the front of the shoe store and there'd be a massive line. And obviously people would come and bring their entire family so they can all buy like multiple, of the shoe and then sell and flip them online. So I think they've done this raffle thing to sort of try to deter flippers. But if you win, they just take the money. Like you can't win and be like, oh, I don't know if I want them. Basically, if you win the raffle, they just take the money from your account and go, okay, we're sending him now. But anyway,
I've never had like expensive shoes or anything like that. Like I've got a pair of shoes over there in the corner now, just like the Velcro instead of shoelaces that I got at Walmart for $13. That's like, and I've always been like that.
Well, I guess it depends what, like back in the day, like, Chuck Taylors, like the All-Star Chuck Taylors, they used to be, I think I used to buy them when I was in high school for $55 and now they're like $130, $140 shoe. So the Jordans aren't too expensive. Like if you buy them after the fact, then they can get expensive, but I think they were about $180. Like to me, I don't like paying more than say $150. $150 is normally the max I want to pay for a pair of shoes. Because I just wear them until they fall apart.
Yeah,
like
I'm the same. I wear I need to get a new pair now, man, because those that I got are like the bottoms are coming apart and stuff.
One of so the shoe collectors at work, right, that I work with, he has like these. He'll have Jordans, right, and he'll walk in and be like, "Guess when these are from? Like, guess what year these came out?" And I was like, "I don't know." And they'll be like 10 years old, and I'm like, why do they look brand new? Like they look brand new. Like, I don't get it. So the problem with that is now that I've won these Jordans and I'm going to go pick up, because I feel like they have some sort of, I guess, value to it. I don't want them to. I'm not going to wear them every day. Like I'm going to be scared to. Like my last pair of Nikes that I bought, I've just trashed them. And Sarah often does a thing when she's walking behind you, will accidentally step on the back of my foot. I'm like, what are you doing? If she does that to these Jordans, I'll be like, see ya.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, if I had the money, I would probably get a really nice pair of shoes. But it's like if I spend more than $20 on a pair of shoes, it's like hard on me for the rest of the month.
I guess it's just like certain things I'd want to spend a bit more on, hoping that, for example, jeans. Like I used to go through jeans like crazy. So I remember thinking, I'll start. So a lot of shops will do like 2 for $100 or something like that. So or 2 for $80. So I used to
Yeah.
always do that. But those jeans, I'd always go through, and then I thought, you know what? I'll spend a bit more. I'll buy like $100 jeans and see if they last longer, and they don't really.
No. I like the jeans I've got, man. I paid $10 for them, and I've had them at least 7 years now, and they're still good.
I remember back in the day when in my punk rock days, I used to always buy boots, and we used to buy the boots from the disposal store. I don't know if what you guys call a disposal store, but I guess it just sells like camping gear and like army related stuff. I don't know, but that we used to always buy boots from there, and they were like cheap, boots. And on the way home, we used to always like throw them against the ground and like try to scuff them up so they didn't look new. And then as we got a bit older, we started spending more money on our boots. So I bought like a $300 pair of boots once, and I was like not scuffing those up. Like anytime I like accidentally kick the curb, I'm like, like trying to rub off any sort of scuffs I made on it. So
right on, Gray Man.
If I have $100, I'm buying comics, not shoes. Yeah, well, I spend enough money on comics, so I should treat myself to something. Again, I'm hardly going to probably wear these shoes because they're so hard to get, apparently. See, I like to. I don't mind splurging on food every now and then. I mean, it's tough because, yeah, sometimes you spend so much and it's just on a meal, and then it's like, man, I just spent so much money when I could have bought so much for it. But one of the things in my head, I'm like, you need to eat. So since you need to eat, why not eat good sometimes? Treat yourself.
Yeah,
a nice meal.
I did that this month. I took my mom to she was been kind of depressed and down, so I took her to this fancy like Italian place called Terra Mia, and it ended up costing me like $48.
Was the good food good though, at least?
Yeah, but ever since I've been eating beans.
Well, mate, you got to treat yourself sometimes, mate. Simon is a posh punk, mate. I ain't no punk no more. My punk days are long gone. Food comes first. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit of a foodie, so problem is I wish Sarah enjoyed food. I mean, she likes food, but she likes certain food groups. She's definitely a fussy eater. So if she wasn't, we'd probably go to more different places. But yeah, we should probably wrap it up, man, because I've got to shoot off.
All right. You got any videos coming out?
So I mentioned a few weeks back I've been working on that Comic Gories video, my favorite moments from Comic Gories. So I finally started filming. So I took time to gather all the clips, but I finally filmed that last night, like me, I guess, presenting it. So that hopefully should come out soon. And I think that's it. I'll probably do an unboxing of my first pair of Jordans.
That'll be cool to see.
And yeah, that's all I got. What about you?
I currently have a giveaway going on for anybody that don't know. It's the Road to 2K. You can't miss the thumbnail. It's got Carla Cohen Wonder Woman on it. And I got a video coming out tomorrow that SimpleSimon edited for me. It's a edited clip from the Tim Tam Slam episode
from last week. So if you missed it, it's got all the best bits.
Yeah, I think it's like a 5-minute or so video. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow.
Is that all we got?
Yeah, for now. I got a few things in the works.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. We appreciate it. And hopefully hey Sean. Bye Sean. Hopefully we'll have a show next week too. Hopefully I don't have brain cancer or anything. All right. Peace.
Peace, guys.